part 2 of refreshing and cleaning my kitchen with me. Today we're going to be going through and organizing some of the cabinets underneath my sink and just going through some stuff and putting out some new cute little spring home things that I got. I was just waiting to get it out because I wanted to share with you before I put it out, but now I'm so excited to be filming because I've been waiting to put it out and kind of like set it up. So literally I'm starting off where I left off in the last video, which was I was deep cleaning in the dining room back there and then in the kitchen right here. Now I didn't get to my dishes yet and I didn't like wipe down the counter and stuff, but we're gonna be putting some stuff away, dry goods in that. So I'm just gonna save it to the end and I can just clean it up all at one time. There's so much work to do in this video, so I wanted to pop in before I forget and wish you guys happy holidays, and I hope you have a fantastic Easter, and I hope you're happy and healthy and well and enjoy time with your family. And I appreciate you stopping by to watch today. think this works, and I think it might be really fun to have like a little to have like a little drink or tea drawer, because I think that's super cool for organizing. But I'm like, how am I gonna actually organize it? We use this quite a bit. I'm looking to get some spearmint tea. They like these teas, especially my one daughter likes these teas anyway. But the thing I hate about these teas is that they come in this little package, and it's just a hot mess. Like, it's so irritating. But like, they come in these open little sachets. So even if I were to, you know, basically decanter them from this box, we wouldn't know what the heck is what. And I also hate this box because it actually doesn't open and then still say what it is on top. So it wouldn't be good for displaying it. So I need to find some way to organize these and still kind of know what it is, because it'd be better if this box wasn't like this. So that way when I close and open, they don't get stuck. But with some kind of like regular organizer or something like this, with like a filing system, this works perfectly. But we can't get these flavors in this kind of tea. So I'm going to think of something. I also would like to find a brand of tea that comes in like single packages. So that way like we can pull it out and see what it is and use it instead of having it in a box and a satch. So we'll see. But I think that this would be really cute. And then what I can do is just move literally all this junk drawer stuff into one of the drawers in our TV dresser. So basically in here, I have this drawer that's going to be free. So maybe I can turn this into our junk drawer now. And then this is going to be our mail. So I'm thinking that might be what I do, because I don't want big old boxes in here for junk, but like just have like little trays, and this can just be the quick, easy junk drawer. So I'm thinking if I actually move the junk drawer into the living room now in the TV dresser, we can utilize this drawer for tea. So I don't know. I kind of want to put it all in there, but I kind of also don't, because I'm like, ooh, what if I don't like it? But it's quick and easy to just switch it back. But it might really work. I just wish I had a way, like I said, to organize those in a better way. The only way I'm thinking of right now is like maybe some kind of like a little Dollar Tree closable tin that I could just temporarily or use it like that. But so I can cut off what the flavor is and stick it into the container and kind of like tape it to the top maybe. And then put them all in there. It doesn't work well for trying different ones, obviously, but that might be a good solution for now. And then maybe try to get like a cardboard or plastic sleeve that can house these. So I don't know. I think I really love the idea. But before I get carried away on this, let's keep going. I think what I've decided on here is to just make this into like a more perishable and, you know, rotation type of cabinet. Since we have lots of space here, this can just be a cabinet for what's coming in and going out really quickly. My husband is the culprit of he'll go to the store and just buy a random can or jar of something, and he just doesn't use it. He's like, oh, this would be great to have, but he doesn't use it then. So I have that problem. But not only that, he'll buy something too, and then I just have a random assortment of random cans in there. My cabinet's full, I can't use it, and then I can't find anything. So still trying to find a solution for that as we go through the pantry wall downstairs, but I'm going to move all this down there. The only thing we really use up here on a regular basis is like chicken noodle soup. And that's pretty much it. I can run downstairs and grab anything else, but the kids sometimes grab that. So I'm thinking this will just be like chips and bread. And then we'll just kind of go from there and see what else we need as we live through the new organization. And like I have a bunch of random boxes of like macaroni and stuff. And this is just typically how stuff won't get used, or if you spend time going to the grocery store browsing around without a list, or you know, just buying stuff that you want to try. If you don't have some kind of system or plan in place for using those items, a lot of times they just end up in the back of the cabinet, bottom of the bin, back of the basket, back of the fridge, you know, and we never use them. So I'm trying to get those kind of things in the forefront of his view, because I don't want them, you know what I'm saying? Usually it's just new things he likes to try. He likes to try a new variety of stuff. But I'm going to put it out and I'm going to make it for him, or I'm going to show it to him so he can use it, the snacks and stuff. And hopefully we can cycle through this stuff, because the rest I'll just literally donate it. my favorite storage container system that I bought for the kitchen. Apart from those jars that I keep on the counter all the time, that was a gift, which I absolutely love too. But I love these because they will do your home so much good for organizing around the kitchen. Now, they are number 5 plastic, which is polypropylene, I think is how you say it, PP. And it's safe for food grade use. It's what a lot of our plastic food grade bottles and stuff are made out of, like syrups and yogurt cups and stuff, except this one's made with durability so that way you can reuse it. It's just recommended, that you wash it and do like that. So the thing about these though, now technically you could still in fact leach chemicals into your food, right, with heating and stuff like that, but these are totally safe to use in your food if you're just storing dry goods. Even a lot of my crackers I have in the packaging inside of here, it's already in a plastic package, decantering it would still kind of make sense, even though it's still kind of the same thing, Now, technically, you could probably use these to store cold foods, but I don't use these for foods or leftovers or anything. I just use these to store and organize inside of my cabinets in the kitchen. So I always use them for dry goods, loose ingredients, rice, and everything like that. And I've had these for a few years now, and I actually bought 2 sets when I bought them, and I have so many of them. I don't even know how many I have, if I'm being honest right now, but they come in variations of sizes, and I'll put a little link down below so you can check them out. But I use them all over, and I just didn't think I was going to be able to use them in my tea drawer, and they always seem to amaze me how I'm like, oh, I can use it here too. So really good set if you want to have something affordable in your kitchen that's kind of, I like it because they're different sizes, but the lids all go to each other. So if you lose a lid for the small one, like this one, here's one of the size variations. This lid still fits this container, and then it fits even up to my tallest one right here. So I like that I get the size variation in the height, but the lids are all the same. And then some of them too, they do also stack within each other a little bit. Nothing crazy, they don't go all the way in, but it helps some with storage when they're empty. So I love that because the smaller ones specifically fit good inside of here. It makes it easier for stacking up depending on how tall your cabinet is. But this is definitely one of my favorite kitchen essentials if you're looking to organize your kitchen, have some durability, functionality, and some longevity out of a product in multi-use. I really love these containers for dry goods. So chip clips can be really expensive. So I buy these little craft clips from Dollar Tree, and these ones hold up better than I think a chip clip, in my opinion. I'm somebody that will use anything for a chip clip, so James makes fun of me for this, but I haven't found a good pack of chip clips. I need one, but as a alternative that's cheap, or if you have small things to close in your cabinets that aren't bulky, these cute craft clips work well. So I just stuck it on my pancake mix like this. As a quick tip too, if you don't have a labeler or a Sharpie or something on hand when you're decanting things, I just cut the box part off where it says what it is, and I just throw it in the container. That way I don't forget. And as a side note too, if you do that, you can take a pen or a Sharpie or whatever and write the date that it goes bad on the same paper. Or, I mean, you can do that with any paper really, or like those washable labels, but that way you don't forget what it is and when it's going bad before you fill it up next. So this is what I do for it right here. I just cut the box off like this, and then I just put the month and the year on it, so that way I don't forget what's in my container, and then I also have the date that it goes bad to spoil as well, so I can remember when I go to fill it back up or use the product. And you can either stick this on top, you can tape it to the top of your container or the side. I usually just shove it in the side, honestly. That's usually what I do. I just shove it in there like this. Here's another example of the one that came off the flour. So I'm gonna stick this one down in my flour jar that we just filled up, so that way I can remember. We don't use a ton of flour, but we're about to start baking more and stuff, but I'm still gonna put this in there just so I don't forget, because flour will get like yucky, you know. I like to have some of these on hand that just go to things, so I like to have just this teaspoon one in the sugar in case, I don't know, need something. So I got this from Dollar Tree. I got this container and it has the little spout at the top. So I started keeping this by my coffee pot because it was only $1.25. So I'm just gonna stick this teaspoon in my regular sugar, and then I have this random quarter cup right here, and I'm gonna put this one in my pancakes. So that way, if at any point I've used my other measuring spoons that I actually use while cooking, if they're dirty or whatever, I don't have to clean them. I just already have something that stays in that jar. For the most part, it doesn't have to be washed right away. You know what I'm saying? These are dry goods, so it just acts as a scoop. Also, this one's stainless. I would like to get a new set of these. I thought about just putting mine in there because I have stainless steel ones. Anyway, that anytime I can get away from using plastic, I will. I need Tupperware. I just got sick of breaking it. But the thing with Tupperware is like, you're going to have to replace it anyway. If you buy plastic, you're going to lose something. It's going to warp or it's going to go bad, whatever. And if you buy glass, you might break it. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to replace it either way. So I just want to start using the healthier option. We used to use the glass until we got here. I did away with them like at the end before we moved. But I want to go back because where I can use glass and stainless steel, that's the way that I try to go. With these containers, since I'm just using dry goods, I do use plastic. In the future, I might change my mind, but these have held up so well and they work so good for washing. I just use these ones. But everything else, I try to buy in glass and stainless steel. The other thing I hated about some of the containers, like mason jars and stuff, for some of this stuff, it's like harder to store those larger circle jars in your cabinets. So at least it was in my opinion. switch out my oats to this container as well, because I had it in this one because I love that it had the easy pour spout from Dollar Tree. This was when I started off with even simpler organization. I used to have big circle tubs in our cabinet and it held all the dry goods. And then I had a few of these as well for pour options. But if you notice, like, well, at least on these ones, this is unmarked plastic. So I don't know even what's going on with this plastic. It's definitely not as durable and reusable as this one. Even when you feel it, there's no seal on this one from the dollar store. There's no rubber sealing on these. And these ones, they're hard. It's good old, like, good plastic. And then the inside of these have a rubber sealing. And this does come out too if you want to clean it even better, or it gets loose and you want to just kind of give it a, what do you want to call it? A refresh. You can clean these and it does come out as well. I just been kind of cleaning them as I go. But that's why I'm doing away with this. And I'm actually going to repurpose this one into my laundry room. I have one of my, for my powdered laundry detergent that I just have a small amount of that I've been finishing off. I'd like to get a little bit more of that. And then I also want to I'm going to repurpose this one and I'm going to use it for my Revive OxyClean powder instead of my food, because that's already a chemical. So why does it matter, you know? So I'm just going to do that. I had half a nerve to just go ahead and throw that whole bit of food out just because it's been in here, but like we've been eating it. So like what am I going to get scared of, you know? But I'm going to take this to the laundry room and I'll wash this. I'm not even going to do it right now because I'm just doing things to keep the job moving along, and I will deal with this when I need to, and I'll wash it at the time of. It's not going to hurt being that it's dirty. It's been sitting in my cabinet the same way. So I'm just going to wash it once I get down there for that task so I don't get distracted from doing this task so I can stay on with my house project. Cleaning and organizing can take a while, but once it's done, it feels really good. So I'm excited to put out these new little home refresh items that I got from Walmart. I got this white and gold galvanized little tiered tray. I did away with the silver one because I just wanted to fit more of the vibe. It fits my beautiful brand like appliances, as you can see with like the little toaster. I didn't realize it at the time, but I also got this. I know it's like a utensil holder, but I got it to hold drinks at the time of, and then I realized while I was doing this job that I made a drink drawer. So since I put all of our like drinks and stuff in a drawer, I had this caddy left over. I didn't end up liking it up here, so I actually went back to the store and got a second one, and I'm going to organize with them in the bathroom in a future video. But I like how these little trays turned out. What was cool is I didn't realize that they're actually removable, and which is really cool, because one of the things with a tiered tray in the kitchen that I don't love is that they are kind of hard to wash if your fruit like kind of goes bad on there or something spills on it or there's crumbs. But these ones you can actually lift right off of the tray and wash them and set them back on there. So I love that. This was everything that got reorganized today and restocked, and it doesn't seem like much, but honestly, like, it's so much, and it really just needed to be, you know, restocked. Give me a good look at what we have. This kind of thing also helps for listing out things if you want to keep track of what's in your house and you don't just want to continuously buy each time you go to the store. This helps you kind of realize, like, well, what are we using most often and what can I restock? So having a system in place with like containers like this, or you know, some kind of system where you can refill up something, that helps you to realize what exactly you need to buy, so you have a containment for not overspending, but then also you have some sort of list to work off so you can keep your house actually stocked up with like you know, a plan in mind. I love that I did this. I can always rearrange these in so many different ways and throughout different cabinets, and when I actually did this today, I actually freed up a lot of space, so I really love that. Every time I do this in the kitchen, I always mention this can here, and I'll link this in my Amazon store for you. It's just some easy fire spray. I keep it right above my stove, so that way if there's a time when me or the kids happen to be cooking, the fire spray is right there. And although it's kind of like above the stove, so it's like kind of redundant, but at least that there's a way to have some kind of like fire safety while cooking right near the kitchen. I do want a fire blanket, but I haven't purchased those, and luckily I haven't had to worry about using anything for a fire, so I just keep this can on hand. I also have one in the basement as well. I really love the giant pancake mix from Sam's Club. I'm using that from now on. I filled my middle one with pancakes and the smallest one with sugar and the other one with flour. You'll have to let me know what's your favorite thing to make that you make on a regular basis. I'm new to making stuff. I always get scared of making a lot because I get scared that I will overconsume because I have an unhealthy relationship with sweets foods. It's not that I particularly overindulge, but if it's here, I will eat it. So if I make one of the kids a birthday cake or something, I'm always the one to finish like all the cake. So I'm one of those people where I just have to throw the cake away or just not have it to keep control on my health and weight. And it's just a practice that I do. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I got to throw it away. And so I've always been scared to become much of a baker because I don't want to get too far gone with overindulgence. But I want to start making like our own bread and stuff so that way we can get away from some more chemicals. And then of course, I don't mind eating homemade treats and stuff. It's more store-bought ones because they do give me like kind of like reactions. But yeah, let me know. Is there something that you make from hand that you think is easy or something that your family enjoys? Maybe besides cookies, let me know. I also picked up this little knife set from Beautiful Brand by Drew Barrymore, and it is so cute. I, though, didn't realize that these freaking knives were hand washed. So that made me angry because I didn't read that on the box. I wasn't thinking, and I always just throw mine in the dishwasher. So now I'm gotta adopt to be an even bigger girl, you know, and washing my knives by hand. You know, I've been spoiled, but I decided to keep it. I also got this butter dish here. I seen this idea and I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to have one of those. These are everywhere. I originally seen it from my friend Amber over at Boss Mom Hustle, and she had this cute little butter dish. I'm like, what the heck is that? So I had to go check it out. And what I found was you can put water in it. And I always keep my butter in a cup on the counter. So I was like, oh, this is so perfect. So it doesn't look as janky now because I just keep it like a regular coffee cup. So I didn't put the water in mine because it doesn't last so long here. But I only use one stick in it. I don't fill it all the way up. And then I just didn't put the water, and I love how I get to display it now and have a cute little butter dish. I also got a new cutting board. I'm doing away with all plastic cutting boards here. I need to get a couple more, but because of the plastics, I just don't want to have anything to do with it. I told James we're going wood, and I'm sticking to it. I also got some new oven mitts that match because I got tired of looking at those blue ones up here from Christmas. In my opinion, I actually love those blue ones more. They're from Dollar Tree, but I just hate that they didn't have a more neutral option. So I just went ahead and snagged these from Amazon. I also decided for the first time now, since the kids were little, I actually did away with my knives on the counter and put them in the drawer. So that way I knew the kids would never get a hold of them. Because I used to have the drawer locked at one point. So now that the kids are older and it's cool, I want to display the knives and put all my extra kitchen utensils in the drawer. Because I actually have a lot more cooking utensils than I need to use versus knives. So I'm just getting rid of some of that and organizing and decluttering this out a little bit, getting some random little pieces that have ended up, you know, just kind of making its way on cluttering up this drawer that don't go to anything anymore. And then I'm just going to stick this stuff in the basement. I'm not going to get rid of it because we do keep a lot of this extra stuff. This little holder, what I actually did was I gave it to Savannah actually, and she's storing now bracelets and necklaces on it. So I didn't get rid of it and I didn't throw it away or donate it. We just kind of like repurposed it. And I really love that about organization. So here's how it all turned out. And I think it's such a cute little corner nook now here in the kitchen. And I love it. It's just like, it's not too much, but it was quite a bit to help just like give the kitchen a little refresh and, you know, bring in some new things that we're going to start using as we move forward, like the cutting board and some new knives and butter dish. So, you know, a little bit more healthier things altogether. Well, maybe not the knives, but, you know, keep our butter covered and cut things more healthily, and a cute little chick to finish it off. And one more quick little hack I had to share with you is I've been looking for a way to do this, and I found many, and I hate how the towels fall off this bar all the time. So I seen those cute little clips that people have been using for towels, and I was like, you know what? Let me try a regular clip. And my bar just so happened to be big enough for clips I had on hand, and I was like, oh, those flower ones are very springy. They match the Easter, so let me just give it a try. So that's what I've been doing to hold my towels on, because I really wanted to get some new towels that, you know, have the button or the clips or like the little pull throughs. But then I thought I have to get all new towels. And I was like, if I want to reuse any of these and I want to make it as simple as I can, then I need some kind of clipping option. And this was the option that I found on Amazon. The clips were like $10 a piece though. So I was like, I think we can do better. So I'm just using these. So let me know if you try that out. It's definitely cool. You can use whatever fits wherever. And that way you can keep all your towels. And now I'm going to organize under my kitchen sink because it's been full ifs.
Are you happier now, love? Still wander the city streets. It's getting easier with love. It's getting easier with love. As dawn breaks the darkness, a new day begins. I feel cold and heartless. I've run myself thin. Like the distant star, have you traveled far? I miss you in my arms. You're like my lucky charm. Are you happier now, love? Still wander the city streets. It's getting easier with love. Though you're the beat of my aching heart.
So to organize under my kitchen sink, I'm going to be using these containers I found at Walmart, and this acrylic looking set I actually found at Aldi. I got mine last year, but I seen they had another set for sale this year, and it comes with a Lazy Susan. So I'm going to use those to display basically like the things I need to have the most access to on a daily and weekly basis. And then the multi-purpose containers were, I think, like $5 each, and I'm going to stick those in the very back so that way they can hold like other things that need to be organized that I don't necessarily need to be able to grab for, you know, very easily accessible, and they're easy to pull out. It's so complicated to organize under sinks because of if you have a garbage disposal and the piping. So any way you can find a container to get in and around there, especially to keep you from digging stuff out, that's an A+. And then for me, like if you have any extra room in your laundry room or basement or a different cabinet, then you can put the extra stuff there, so that way you can just keep under your cabinet organized. And if you need to put extra stuff in there, then try to organize them in the back and then have an accessible container like in the front. This caddy right here actually matches all my other like cleaning stuff for my cleaning business. I wasn't intentionally going for it, but it just kind of worked out. So this actually looks exactly like the O-Cedar mop, which is quite funny. So I'm actually going to give this a good wash up and scrub, and then I'm going to turn this into a take-along bathroom caddy for my cleaning business when I have helpers, or just to have a separate cleaning bag for the bathrooms, because it's a pain taking things around. As you know, if you have multiple bathrooms too, it's a pain even then in your own home. But when you're walking around cleaning someone else's house, it's really a pain. I don't really know what to do with this jar. This was at my dad's house for the longest time growing up. At the old house, I used to keep my dishwashing tablets in here until I switched to the like little acrylic looking container. But I'm thinking maybe what I'll put in here is clean it out really nice and put, I kind of want to sand the top of it too. It's very greasy on top and gross. I have a handheld sander in the garage, so I think I'm going to sand this down, sand around here a bit so it looks clean, because it's pretty rough. So I'm going to sand it down, and I think I'm going to fill it with a couple jars of baking soda.
Are you happier now, love? Still wander the city
So since I couldn't really put nothing that needed to be easily accessible in this little Lazy Susan, I decided to turn it into like a sponges section or like little tools and gadgets. So anything that's like accessible like that, I set in there. Now I did put on my list to get more dog hair removers and also some dish tabs and some Swiffer dusters, but I just put all the little excess sponges in here that I use. Now right by my head there's these two little faux drawers, and there's little like they're kind of like drawers that are in there. They need to be cleaned out because they have some rust in them now, but I did have some sponges in there to use sometimes, but now I just don't want to do that because sometimes I always drape my towels up on those little faux drawers, so I don't want them to get yucky from the sponges. So it's cool now to have this little Lazy Susan down here. I absolutely loved having the little trash bag dispenser. Like you can use these so many different ways, but I'm going to stick an extra one behind this one, and then the bottom's going to be for trash bags, and the top is for all my go-to cleaning supplies that I use weekly. And then I have one spare container here for rags. I go through rags. I wash these. I probably pull a new one daily, if not every 2 days for sure. So I go through these pretty quickly. Most of these larger ones are for home use here, and then the blue ones you see are for my cleaning business, so I don't put those ones within mine, but it's cute. It's a cute little display. I wanted an extra sleeve of this just for Swiffer dusters, but I don't really have the space, so I only have the space for like one more container, and I was like, I'm not going to buy a whole new set for one sleeve, so we'll see how it goes. Go stock up on all my dusters on these Swiffers. So originally I was gonna get rid of my towel basket under here, and I'm gonna fill this up with my Swiffers, but I might just fill this up with Swiffers instead. If I buy a couple boxes, it'll fill this up and it can sit back there because I go through these less, and I probably also need to put more of them in here, whereas I go through these daily, you know. I also end up putting all the extra stuff in the 2 bins back there. So this is all my actual cleaning products that I have in the kitchen now. These are all the main products that I use just throughout the house, with the exception of my DIY bathroom cleaner that's upstairs and one other Dollar Tree product I've been using in there. But it's just an assortment of sponges. I use a lot of different things. And then my favorite one for the dog bowls, if you're in the market for one, although I like my little cute doggy Scrub Daddy, it's really cute. But I really like the Dollar Tree. This is supposed to be a non-scratch steel sponge from Dollar Tree, and I like this one for like if you have stainless bowls, because that's what I do, and it worked really well on cleaning their plastic mat too. So recommend this from Dollar Tree. I also have a toothbrush down in there, and then I have a funnel that I keep on hand too, because sometimes I like to make my own. I need to get a cute little spray bottle for the house. I use these because they work really good, but maybe I should get a cute one. hope you enjoyed your visit here with me today and enjoyed coming along to pretty much, reset, organize, and declutter my whole entire kitchen and dining room. If you want to hang out for longer than YouTube thinks you'll like some videos that pop up right along in here, you can stay a while and check some out. And I'd really appreciate it if you don't leave without giving this video a thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.